God of War, the TV show, is potentially coming, and it's eyed by Amazon Prime. James, tell me a little bit about this from Deadline.
I'll tell you a little bit about it. PlayStation flagship action-adventure franchise God of War is heading to television. Well, we don't know that quite yet. Because Prime Video is in negotiations for a live-action TV series based on the hugely popular ancient mythology-themed game, sources said. I hear the series adaptation comes from The Expanse creators / executive producers Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby, and the Wheel of Time executive producer / showrunner Rafe Judkins, as well as Sony Pictures Television and PlayStation Productions, which collaborate on all TV series based on PlayStation games. Reps for Sony and Amazon Studios, which likely will co-produce, had no comment.
And Fergus and Ostby, they share an Oscar nomination for co-writing Children of Men, and they co-wrote the script for Iron Man, which teed off the box office reign of Marvel Studios. Pretty cool. That's big names on there.
Yeah. The God of War franchise from Sony Santa Monica Studios spans a total of 7 games across 4 PlayStation consoles. The action game series launched in 2005 on the PlayStation 2 with the first God of War. At the center is an ex-Spartan warrior Kratos and his perilous journey to exact revenge on the Ares, the Greek god of war, after killing his loved ones under the deity's influence. After becoming the ruthless God of War himself, Kratos finds himself constantly looking for a chance to change his fate. This would mark the latest big deal for a TV series based on a popular video game title in a red-hot streaming marketplace for gaming IP. Peacock just landed another SPT / PlayStation property, Twisted Metal, with a series order and Anthony Mackie starring. Oh, no way. I had no idea Anthony Mackie was supposed to star in that.
Yeah.
HBO has coming up with the profile. This is a weird sentence. I hate the way this article is written.
Sorry,
HBO has coming up the high-profile PlayStation game-based series, The Last of Us, starring Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. Netflix has a Resident Evil TV series in the works, while Paramount Plus is about to debut Halo. Vincent, how do we feel about this?
I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of plans here. PlayStation Studios, I mean, I am hopeful for them. After seeing Uncharted, the jury's still out. The jury's definitely still out on PlayStation Studios, because not that Uncharted was bad, but it also wasn't great. It was just in the middle, and I was just super neutral about it.
Where's the Vincent jury at?
The Vincent jury is like, of course I want to see some of my favorite characters in a movie format. Of course, right? Yeah, but are they going to be good? Because I don't want them if they're not going to be good. And I don't know if I want a God of War adaptation yet. Let us see, please, just how The Last of Us is going to go. And because if it's bad, just cancel everything. Cancel everything, because you've hit the peak of games.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, that's just, in my opinion, I guess. You've hit a peak of story in games. And if you cannot translate that story to a movie / TV show format, let's pause. Let's pause on all this and restart and really start to think about why we're doing this, why we're adapting these, right? I think God of War has a lot of potential for a TV show. I think these are characters that you could definitely fall in love with over some time in a TV show, but it needs to be, there's so much effects that would have to go into this, and like the characters have to be at the center of this. You can't be lacking in like different places. Like everything has to be all tight to make this actually a good product. If one thing is really lacking, this is not going to be good.
Also, I don't know if... Okay, so first of all, I think I've kind of solidified my position in games don't belong on screen, on the silver screen.
Sure.
But before I get more into that, I just want to point out a caveat of, I don't know if you can correctly translate the violence of God of War.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd be allowed to.
Right.
Because God of War is so brutal. Like, he literally tears people in half. Not people, but like, like beings.
Yeah.
But he tears things in half, like on screen. Like, I don't know if you can just do that.
I think you can, but again, the hardest part of this, James, is when we're playing games, we are in control of these characters, and you kind of embody what these people are doing, even if it's wrong, and it serves a purpose in the story.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
And I don't think these can accurately translate to on screen, because if you're watching something, you are simply a spectator. Yeah. Even if you are close to a main character, if you empathize with them, you are still not in that character's shoes. You do not have direct control over them. And that's why I think that's especially important for a game like Last of Us, in which, like, especially the second one is so much about violence.
Yeah.
And how you actively partake in this violence, where I'm imagining watching the story of Abby and Ellie take place and being so critical of these characters,
Yeah.
but not having any sort of I don't have any sort of skin in the game because I haven't
Done hurt the actions
done
that are
done the
being.
actions that they do.
Yeah. It's very tough for me because I think it can be done. I have been more attached to characters in movies than in games and situations, and I've been more attached to
Mm.
games characters than movie characters. That
Are those for
I
different reasons?
yeah, definitely for different reasons. But that's across any medium. Like I could be attached to a book character that I can't even see, that I'm just reading their story in the same way that I'm connecting with something that I'm actually playing. But
But is it the same way?
yeah, I think so. I think so. They stick with me the
Mm.
same way. But it's very, very different when a key part of the story comes from the actions of the characters, in which God of War and The Last of Us are big, big proponents of that, right? And that might be what makes them such good games.
Mhm.
Whereas like Uncharted, you're kind of playing a story and the gameplay doesn't necessarily affect the characters. And
Right.
that's where it gets that's where the gray area happens for
Right.
me, you know? Because I could love those characters, but I'm not connecting with Nathan Drake shooting a million bad guys in it. That's not really like what it's about for me or
Right.
anything. It's just that sense of adventure. That's what Uncharted tries to say for you. Whereas, we've talked about it, Last of Us and God of War. So I'm excited. They're trying it, and I don't have to love it. That's the best part. We have the games, and the
Sure.
games are always going to be there. So like I'll definitely watch it. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'll keep an open mind as much as I can, um, but we will just have to see.
And but I think the worst part about it for me is if I were to recommend someone play a game, someone who
Mm,
is already open to playing, games, someone who maybe like wants like someone like Brandon,
yeah,
right? Someone who is sort of like an I would say he's more of like an entry level gamer where
yeah,
he
that's
is like
context. Yeah, context right
right,
there.
right, right. He's sort of like he just got a PS5. That's kind of his first console in a long time, and he's just
Yeah.
started God of War. But if
Hmm.
say he didn't start God of War, and the only context in his mind was a TV show about it,
Mm.
he wouldn't feel the sort of need to
Which
like play the game. Which
totally.
I'm like it is the same. We can compare that to reading a book versus watching a movie
I was just gonna say that same thing.
of like
I was
it's
literally at a
complete
bookstore.
yeah
Yeah,
completely it's a different experience. It was made for which I guess in that way it's an age old debate.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
an age old debate, you know what I
that
mean?
is never gonna go away. I literally got a book. There's a book that was recommended that I read, but you look at the cover, I'm like, the title's a little familiar. Look it up. It's a horrible sci-fi show that got canceled
Mm.
after a season, but these books are like held at such a high standard. Like they're
What
so
are
good.
they?
I forget the exact name, but it's about a wizard in New York that helps
Oh,
police.
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
No, it's not Sorcerer's Apprentice. Great guess. But it was a sci-fi show that got completely canned really fast because it was terrible. But apparently the
Yeah.
book is like so good. I'm like, it seems interesting, but now I have this vision of this really crappy sci-fi show in my head. I don't want to read the book. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, age-old debate. You are
Are
right.
are gamers the modern equivalent of old book snobs?
Oh God, you might be right. I don't
Because
see any.
it seems like a similar cultural phenomena going on.
It truly could be.
Like it's that one meme of the two muscle guys
Yeah.
like doing this, and it's gamers and book readers and
Yeah.
hating movie TV adaptations.
It's too good. It's too good. We need to clip that and put that on Twitter
Great.
because that would be a lot of hot takes. I love that. Guys, thank you so much for watching this clip. If you want to watch the whole podcast, become a member here on YouTube, or you can listen to the thing for free on audio platforms. That was Spotify. I'm so sorry, Spotify. We're really trying to get you back. I'm so sorry. We'll
We're
get
trying
there
our best.
eventually. Love you guys. Thank you.